Hello and welcome. It's Omari Mohammed, a high school English teacher. So today we are going to study another very interesting lesson. It's about vocabulary introduction to human right. I'm not sure whether you know what human rights are or not, but together we will explore everything. So to fully benefit from this lesson, you would better follow my instructions, means do what I tell you to do. Take a pen and a notebook to take notes, to write comments. 3, open your book, ticket 1, page 126 and 127. Number 4, remember that you are in class. So all together, let's reflect on these hands, raising hands. What is written in there? So I'm reading from left to right. We have one hand that has the word equality written on it. Equality. Hope, freedom, peace, dignity, justice, and rule of law, and prosperity. Do you know what are these words or what are these slogans? What do they have in common? Do you have any idea? Of course. So a dignity, everybody should have his dignity preserved and saved. Next, justice. We should live in a just society by the power of the law. And then rule of the law, that everybody is not above the law. We are all equal in front of the rules of the law. And then prosperity. Everybody has a right to work, prosper, and have a bright future. So I preferred to rather start by this negative image. So I ask you to reflect on it. So look at this photo here. What do you see? It's very negative indeed. A white man having a cigar in his hand, but down below there are people chained by the neck and by the hands and by the feet. So what do you think? This is a very negative image that was in the world a long time ago. So what do you think the name of this practice? This is slavery. So slavery is a condition in which one human being is owned by another. A slave was considered by law as a property, as a thing to be owned, and was deprived from most of the rights ordinarily held by free people. The next photo, we have no dogs, no Negroes, and no Mexican. This is a poster at the door of a restaurant. So we are not allowing dogs, we are not allowing Negroes, and we are not allowing Mexicans. So what does this image represent? All right, it represents racism. Racism against Negroes means black people, and racism against Mexicans. So racism is antagonism or hatred directed against someone of a different race. So black people and Mexicans are considered of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. As you see in the first photo, the white man is superior and the black man is inferior. Next photo, what do you see here in the first photo? A black person? No. A white person? Yes. A bearded man or an Indian? No. A woman? No. And a person of a special need? No. What do you think the name of this practice? Is it respecting the fundamental tenets of human rights? No, it doesn't respect. That's of course called discrimination. So discrimination, the unjust treatment of different categories. So for these people, a black man, an Indian, or a woman, or a person of a special need is different or are different. Categories of people, especially on the grounds of race, the case of the black man, age, or sex, male and female. The next photo, what do you see here? The male and the female. So the male is here, is very heavy, and the woman is very light. But what does it represent? It represents something. It represents sexual discrimination. So sexual discrimination, to treat men and women as they don't enjoy the same rights. They don't treat them as the same. And this is, again, against the fundamentals of human rights. So what do you see here in this picture? We have a person with his mouth shut, as if you're saying, or they are saying, don't say something, don't speak. So what's that? That no freedom of speech means no right to express one's own opinion. And that's, again, against human rights fundamentals. So what do you see here? There is a woman with her handbag, and there's someone who tried to steal her handbag by force. So what do you think? Is this a social or an accepted social practice? Of course not. So we call this social insecurity. The state of being not secure or safe. Every time everybody can come to you and take your property by force. So it is the state of being not secure or safe. Others can hurt you and take your property with force. All right, so what are these pictures have in common? I think you might have guessed it. These are human rights violations or human rights breaking of the rules. So if we live in a world that breaks all the human rights rules, it will be like a jungle. So what do you think is the solution? I think the solution is human right. So here we come to the definition of human rights. So human rights are rights inherent to all human beings. Everybody living in this world can enjoy and cherish these rights, regardless of race, be black, white, or whatever, race, sex, be male or female, nationality, be Moroccan, Chinese, Egyptian, ethnicity, language, speak Arabic, Chinese, French, or Berber, religion, be Muslim, Christian, or Jew, or social class, of course, be in the upper class, the middle class, or the working class. Human rights include the right to life, that's number one, and liberty, freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression. So you need to express your opinions and nobody should interfere. The right to work, to have a job and a career, and education, of course, to go to school, and many more rights. UDHR. Do you know what this abbreviation stands for? I'm sure you know if you don't know. So U stands for universal, means worldly or global. Declaration, it's an official document of human rights. So UDHR stands for Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So it is a document, or in other words, it's a book. Who wrote it? Do you have an idea? The whole world. And what does it say? I will bring you here an excerpt from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So let's read it together. The Universal Declaration begins by recognizing that the inherent dignity of all members of human family is the foundation of freedom, number one, justice, number two, and peace, number three. It declares that human rights are universal, are the same all over the world, to be enjoyed by children. I stress here on children. Children also should or must enjoy these rights. And of course, adults, no matter who they are or where they live. The Universal Declaration includes civil and political rights like the right to life, the right to liberty, free speech, and privacy. It also includes economic, social, and cultural rights, like the rights to social security, health, education, and belief. So here we have a little exercise. So please read the text about the rights of children and fill in the gaps with the appropriate words from the list. So in the list we have discrimination, that number 1, treated, number 2, language, beliefs, child, different, protected, being, and respect. So I'm giving you here 5 minutes to do the exercise. So I suggest you have done your exercises, so let's all together see the correction. So when the United Nations, UN, wrote the convention, it had to decide who exactly a child is. Here is a definition. A child is every human being under 18 years old. Governments must respect and follow the rights we, as kids, are given in this convention without any kind of discrimination or prejudice. You or your parents' race, color, sex, or language and religion do not matter. Neither do your opinions on things if you have a disability or where you come from. To sum it up, all kids must be treated exactly the same, no matter how different they are. Governments must also do their best to make sure that we are protected from any kind of discrimination or punishment because of our parents, legal guardians, or family members' status. For example, if they are poor, etc. Their activities, opinions, or beliefs. Thank you very much. We have come to the conclusion of this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it.